When you hear the term studio lighting, you probably think two things. Firstly, that it's only for professional use in professional studios, and secondly, that it's quite expensive. Well, neither of those points is necessarily correct. I bought this cheap studio lighting kit several years ago. The plan today is just to give you a quick overview. I'll show you what's included, how to use it, and then talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages of such a kit compared to a Speedlite setup or other forms of lighting. Firstly, what's included? This is the heart of the system, and this is the master strobe. So this strobe receives the triggering signal. I'll talk about triggering in a few minutes, and then it activates the other lights in the system. It's 80 watt-second rated. It works up to a distance of about 15 meters, and the recycle time is about 4 seconds. It runs on 220 volts mains voltage. So we get another identical strobe, but this is a slave unit and doesn't have the triggering mechanism that the master has. And in addition, we get a 30 watt-second strobe, and this is to light up the background. This is the second from bottom kit. The cheapest kit just has 180 and 130 strobe. This has 280s and 130. So that's the main part of the system, and the rest of the equipment is just ancillary parts to be able to use it. So we get two large light stands for the 80 watt strobes, a small light stand for the 30 watt, two umbrella diffusers in white, the holders for the strobes, and the only other thing we get is a sync cord, which is one way of triggering the lights, but I will talk about other ways in a few minutes. The kit seems to be sold under two brand names, Excella and Elektra. Both are owned by a company called Elektra, who I believe are a Thai company, but the kit is sold in other countries. I bought it in Thailand, and the price in US dollars is about 250. So it's not that expensive. Okay, I'm just going to spend a few minutes now to set up the system, and then I'll get right back to you to explain how to use it. Hopefully you will have seen that lights are very easy to set up. There's no explanation required. It's very straightforward and it takes less than 5 minutes. Once they're set up, turn on the power and make sure they're working. Now inside each strobe, I'm not sure if you can see it on the video, there's a very faint orange glow to indicate there's power. And just to check the lights are working, there's a test button on the master strobe. So I press that and you should see all the strobes fire, which they do. The next thing we need to do is sort out a way of triggering the strobes from the camera. And the first option we have is a PC sync cable that is supplied with the kit. The trouble is you need a PC sync socket on your camera, and not all cameras have them. My old A1 had one, the T90 that followed didn't have one, and the EOS M cameras that I use now don't have one. So it's a bit of a limitation. If you have got a PC sync socket and don't want to use a cable, you can use one of these, which is the dedicated Elektra flash transmitter. It sits on the hot shoe but there's no actual electrical connection through the hot shoe. You still have to use a cable, so connect one cable to the unit and one cable to the PC sync socket, and then you can trigger the strobes using this. The other alternative is just to use a flash on the camera. On the camera I'm using to take the video with, the EOS M6, there's a built-in pop-up flash, and that flash will trigger the strobes. On the original EOS M, there's no pop-up flash. I'm just using a small Canon 90EX. So if I fire the flash on the camera, you should see that it triggers the strobes, like so. Another alternative is to use the Canon STE2 Speedlite transmitter, which has to be used in conjunction with any Canon Speedlite flash. I'm using a 430 EX2. So I mount this on the camera. When I operate the camera, the STE2 will send a signal to the Speedlite. The Speedlite will flash, and that flash will then trigger the studio lights. So that's another way of doing it. I prefer any method that's cordless. So I throw this away. I can't use this one because one, it's broken, and two, it needs a PC sync socket, which I haven't got on the camera. So I will either use just a small flash on the camera to trigger the lights, or an STE2. Once you've decided on your favoured triggering method, the next issue is exposure. And unlike a clever Speedlite system, where the camera fires the flash and then measures the light that's being reflected from the subject and controls the flash, there's absolutely no feedback at all between the camera and these lights. They just pump out the same amount of light each time. So one option you have is to use a light meter. So the light meter has different modes. There's a mode for ambient light, and there's a mode for flash of a cable and flash of out a cable. Let's get a closer look. So if I set it up for flash without a cable, and I've got the ISO at 200 and the shutter speed at 100, if I just press the button to ready it and then trigger the flash, it will tell me what aperture I need. That was very close, and it tells me a 20 aperture, but obviously I'd normally have the light meter where the subject was. It's one method of doing it, and it works, but I guess that a lot of people won't have a light meter. And to be quite honest, it's not really necessary these days. Back in the film days, where you wouldn't know about your exposure until the darkroom process, this was essential. You needed a light meter. I find it much more convenient with a digital camera just to take the shot, look at the LCD, maybe look at the histogram, and if it's too light or too dark, just change the shutter speed, change the ISO, change the aperture, or physically move the strobes towards or away from the subjects. That's the easiest way of doing it. Finally, how do these lights compare to a Speedlite system or other forms of lighting? When I think about it, the only real advantage is the amount of light they put out. They can put out a lot more light than the Speedlights. They run off mains electricity, so I can't take them outside as I can with battery operated Speedlights. And as I mentioned a few minutes ago, there's a nice through the lens metering system with the Speedlights, and they really take care of exposure themselves. With these things I have to keep an eye on the exposure all the time. Would I buy a similar kit today? I bought this one probably about 10 years ago. And the answer to that question is probably no. I actually prefer continuous lighting to strobe lighting, because you can actually see what you're going to get, which you can't with strobe lighting. But a few years ago there were problems with continuous lighting. It ran hot, it used a lot of electricity, and often the colour balance wasn't very good. But all those problems have been rectified with the movement in technology with LED lighting. So now LEDs run cool, they don't use much power, and they've got nice light. So rather than these, if I was buying another kit today, I'll probably get a couple of big soft boxes with LED lights inside. I think that would be my preferred option. I hope this video has been useful today. Even if you haven't got this particular kit, some of the points I've made today should apply to other cheap studio kits. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.